afternoon, Toastmasters. Have any of you grown pumpkins?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Vince. 3 years ago, I read the most interesting book on how these 1,000-pound pumpkins are grown. That inspired me to no end, so ever since 3 years ago, I make sure that I grow pumpkins every year. I've grown the little baby ones. I've grown the medium-sized ones, but I have never grown the big ones. Don't really want to. But I'm very intrigued about the variety of pumpkins, kind of leaning towards the white pumpkins, the pumpkins that have all the little warts, the odd-shaped ones. That's what I'm trying to grow. Got the white pumpkins down pretty good now after 3 years. It's kind of a science, and I know how to grow those really, really well. And I brought one to show you. This is what I grow. And this is a smallish one, but you know I have to carry it from my car. So there was a reason why these are small. And I don't ever carve them, but inside is a bright orange flesh. And it's really cool when they are carved because of the contrast. But I have this idea that I would really like to grow the Cinderella pumpkin. Do we know what the Cinderella pumpkin is? It's a nice bright orange, kind of squashed and white. Really a beautiful, beautiful pumpkin. Hard time finding the seeds, but I finally did. I planted them this year. Now, pumpkin vines can go on forever and ever and ever. They require a lot of water. This year is probably not the best year to do that because of the lack of water, but I went ahead and did it. So I had a lot of the white pumpkins come up and start developing, and the 2 vines that came up from the Cinderella seeds were growing and growing and growing. Lots of blossoms, but they never developed into pumpkins. I don't know if they were sterile, don't know if the bees weren't interested. I don't know what was going on. But finally, I started to see one Cinderella pumpkin developing. Every day I would check to see how larger it got. Every day I would nurture it, I would water it, I would talk to it, I would love it. And it grew a little, and a little, and a little bit. It started to really take off. I was excited, I was thrilled, I felt like a new mother. However, one day, when I came home from work, my husband said to me, Grace, you may want to go out there and look at your pumpkin, because I think there's something wrong with it. Of course, I was in panic. I had to rush out there and see what in the heck was going on, because this was my baby Cinderella pumpkin. Well, I went out and I looked at it, and I was heartbroken, absolutely heartbroken. And I brought it in to show you why I was heartbroken. Here she is. Here she is. And when I saw her, I saw this. Rats. I immediately cut her off the vine. I was not going to feed whatever it was that was gnawing on her. I took her in and I just babied her. Didn't get into the flesh of the pumpkin so it won't rot, but it looks sad. Upon some investigation, upon some looking out of my window often, I wanted to see just who the culprit was. also noticed our zucchini was disappearing. Even if it was a little zucchini, it was disappearing the next day. And I discovered who the culprit was, much to my chagrin. It was an adorable, fuzzy, extra hyper squirrel that was going from one place to the other, and just having the best of its time. Well, I don't like squirrels at all anymore. So I want to tell you, if any of you out here are feeding squirrels, if you have a squirrel feeder, please dispose of it immediately. They are worse than mice, they're worse than rats, they're worse than children. They will devour a garden in a night's time's worth. So my little pumpkin adventure, I'll have to try again next year because it's too late in the season to start all over again. I will never, ever leave my pumpkin alone if I get another Cinderella pumpkin. I will make sure that my husband guards it when I'm not there. I will guard it when I am there until it gets nice, large, and beautiful, and I'll get the Cinderella pumpkin that I started out to get. So if any of you out there have ever grown pumpkins or would like to, beware. The fuzzy guy would be the pumpkin's surprise.